Everybody, welcome to the Slinkstitute Presents episode 2. Thanks for everyone joining us live. We're going to keep an eye on the chat. If you have any questions, jump in. And those of you listening to us at a later date, welcome as well. My guest today, Jonathan Danger Cole. Johnny, thanks for coming, man.
Hey, man, wouldn't have it any other way, man.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you here. Now, for those of you who don't know, Johnny and I met, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, and we were both working at Witch's Hat. He's kind of like the Witch's Hat hype man. Witch's Hat's a brewery, by the way, in Michigan. And I was the grouchy bartender.
Yes.
Right? Yeah,
Smokey
that
Johnson.
was Smokey Johnson, as they called me back then. And we became fast friends. We're both Star Wars nerds and beer nerds and all that jazz. So, we've kept in touch I'm 3 bars past that by now, but we kept in touch and done all that thing. But a couple of reasons I wanted to have John on today, because I know he's a lover of Detroit style pizza, which I am. I know he's a lover of movies.
Indeed.
And so we both got that in common. But before we get into our main topics today, just a quick plug. Danger, you host a podcast called Draft for Upside. Tell the folks a little bit about it.
Oh gosh, man, yeah, that's Draft for Upside is a fantasy sports podcast and webpage, and we have everything from daily, weekly shows to full blown like paid for premium content. But yeah, Draft for Upside, DRAUGHT, as in draft beer, because most of us, the 3 guys that started the show, all worked for breweries at one time. One of them owned a brewery at one time. So we kind of talk about beer a lot and sports and have a good time. But then we do football, we do golf, we do esports, man. We bet on League of Legends. Can you believe that?
That's I was in one of your football leagues for a short time one year. Mm-hmm. I've done a couple of fantasy football leagues. It's so much fun. I mean, I know this last year has been a little crazy for it, but
sure.
Dude, it's like what did somebody say? It's Dungeons and Dragons for jocks.
Bingo.
That's pretty much it.
That is actually very true. And I was both of those things growing up. I was in the D&D clubs and also played 3 sports. So it's it's really a nice thing for me.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I loved it. So those of you who are into fantasy sports, and you don't just do football. I saw you guys talking about golf the other day or something.
Oh yeah, man. No, we got a guy that literally knows like every golfer on the tour and who they dated in college, and like it's disturbing how much he knows. Adam White, who actually just started a business in Ann Arbor called Measured Golf, which plug for Adam, which is a golf swing coach, and they'll build you custom clubs, all kinds of great stuff.
Oh, wow.
So he knows his stuff there. My partner Chris is a top 25 esports player on DraftKings, which is fantasy League of Legends.
Yeah, that's
you're not even playing the game; you're betting on other people playing the game. That's how degenerate we've become.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he does well. And then we've got a couple of guys that just joined that do baseball. And there's a site out there called fantasyfootballblueprint.com that picked up my whole group as their content creator for the year. So we've been partnering with them, having a great time. And then, of course, we're starting up iLogic Media Network, which is amateur podcasters and giving away software and web space for free if you just want to jump in here and try this out. And yeah, man. And then I got another podcast premiering this week called Whiskey and History.
Tell me about this Whiskey and History. I love whiskey and I enjoyed Hamilton.
Yeah, there you go. So I got a good buddy who's just an American War enthusiast, history enthusiast. Okay. And every time we got together, we would just drain a bottle of whiskey, and then he would just go on and on and on about the history of all these wars, which I know absolutely nothing about. Okay. And we just kind of got drunk one day and we're like, we need to do this as a podcast. And we've been joking about it for 2 years, but now that I've built this kind of thing that we're trying to launch, it's time. So we're going to start with the War of 1812, probably Monday or Wednesday night, and we're going to drink some bourbon and it'll be fun.
What year did that take place?
Somewhere in the 1700s.
Check with your guy on that one.
Yeah, we'll check with that.
So, yeah. Yeah,
So lots of great stuff
you want
going
to
on
find
this
out,
week.
yeah, if you want to find out when what year that War of 1812 happened, tune into your podcast, right?
That's right.
All right.
Absolutely.
So let's get into the main thing that everybody's been talking about. Everyone wants to know about Detroit style pizza. So we're Michiganders, Detroiters. We know what it is. People who are listening outside of our little realm, it's not the. I mean, you hear about New York style pizza, thin crust, 7 million degree oven, foldable. Think about a guy just walking up to like, Jimmy the Kneecaps, D'Amico's, pizzeria. Yeah, give me 2 slices. And that's what it is, right? Then there's Chicago style pizza, which is like this thick and it's like a pie. It's not even a pizza to me.
Man. It's
It's a casserole. Yeah, and then Detroit style pizza is kind of in the middle. Now here's the thing. There's some, I don't want to say disagreement, but there's some variations of it. But I think everyone can agree that it is cooked in a pan. So it's a pan pizza. The pan should be rectangular and of a pretty specific size.
Mm-hmm.
And then it is built slightly differently than you would think a pizza should be built.
It is.
I think those are the constants. What have you found when you've started to do a little bit of research on Detroit style pizza?
Well, first and foremost, it's all about the pan. The pan's got to be right. And until recently, you couldn't find the pans, the actual proper pans. They just didn't exist.
Right.
Because from my understanding, they were actually old automotive part pans.
Yeah, I heard
down
this
at the Big Free.
Yeah, I heard this too. Like that was like where you put the scrap metal as you were like making something, you would carry it. That was like a little thing that you would just carry it to, and somebody stole one,
all right,
and made a pizza in it. And that was the story. Yeah, it's crazy. But the pan is key.
I can tell you now for like $15, you can go down to like Restaurant Equippers in Southfield, and they actually have them for sale now. They're proper. They're made of carbon steel. They're
As
awesome.
It should be. Yeah, it has to be carbon steel. It can't be stainless. It can't be cast iron.
The thing about the steel is that it just it takes high temperature to really get it rolling, and then it holds so much heat. It just makes that crust so crispy. Like people talk about getting the pizza stone and all these things to make their round pizzas crispy. Screw that, man. What you need is the carbon steel pan.
Yeah, no, and the pan is, like you said, is key. And another thing that I think we can all agree on as far as Detroit style pizza, cheese, toppings, everything goes to the edge.
Right.
So like the cheese, and you want to put a lot of oil in it too. Everything makes that really crispified, blackened, lacy cheese edge on everything. So I think that's another point.
It's true. You know what my secret is?
Hit me.
Butter flavored Crisco.
Get out of here. I love Crisco.
That's what I grease the pan with, man. They make a butter flavored Crisco.
Get up. Mark that down, folks. Grace, write that down, honey. Butter flavored Crisco. It's a vegetable. Just write it down. Thank you. Butter flavored Crisco. I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when we decided we were going to talk about this, you went around to a couple of places that say that they do Detroit style pizza.
I did.
And we'll bring up a couple of images that you came up with. The one of the ones you sent me was this joint, the Michigan and Trumbull.
That's a new guy to the game. So
okay.
New trendy place. They do things a little unconventionally. You have to actually special order a pepperoni only pizza from them. Their standard is pepperoni, pickled chilies, and a hot honey drizzled over top.
Interesting. So this is what it looked like in the box.
Now let's be fair to these people, okay?
Sure.
It took me an hour to get home after I ordered this.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to judge on the exact, but there's going to be a couple as we go through these. There's going to be a couple of things that some Detroit style pizza nerds are going to notice, and I'm not going to say it yet. So there's that one, and then you went to Jets, which is like the
it's the commercial.
It's the commercial version of of Detroit style pizza. We've all had the Jet Square.
That's right.
And then you went to Buddy's, which is like
the original,
the gold standard as far as I'm concerned.
And not only did I go to Buddy's, Eric, because they popped up everywhere, I went to the original location and how do you pronounce it? Cannet Street? Connet?
Got me, man.
I don't know. I'm not a Detroiter, guys. I grew up in Petoskey, so forgive my lack of Detroit knowledge.
Sure.
But yeah, I went to the original location. It opened in I think the late 40s. I think they got onto pizza in the early 50s as just kind of a way to differentiate. And apparently somebody worked at the auto plant, had these pans laying around, and that's kind of how it became a thing.
Yeah.
And then I also, as you can see, Buddy's.
Well, there's the Buddy's thing, and I do see some sauce on top over there.
Yeah, a little sauce on top. Yeah.
And
to
then,
be fair, all of these except for Jets had the sauce above the cheese. It was just kind of hard to see.
Correct. And then you hit Motor City Pizza Company, which I've not heard of. I don't know.
This is totally frozen. This is a frozen product I picked up in Walmart. Yeah, Walmart.
Oh, okay. So this would explain the next picture then, because I looked at it, I'm like, what is this, man? So. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now it's taken over.
Yeah, I forgot to take a picture of it. So
that's all right. That's all right.
I got the last slice in there.
Sure. So. No, and that's cool. But so that was a frozen. So how was the frozen one?
I'll be honest. If you want to skip right to the reviews, we'll go there. But I will tell you though that there's two places I wanted to go to, and Buddy's is the original. Then that guy sold Buddy's, moved over to Louis. And opened Louis, and Louis Cloverleaf. He went up to Cloverleaf, and then Cloverleaf and East Point. But when I was on my roundabout trip, East Point was just too far out of the way for the other things I had to do, so I couldn't get up there. I wanted to go to Louis, which was started by the original chef that opened the first Buddy's, and also takes claim at being kind of the original Detroit pizza. But they were closed on Thursday, which was sad. Yeah, so that's why it ended up being with Jets. But Motor City, man. So several people in a thread when we were discussing people's favorite Detroit style pizza, it just kept coming up over and over and over again. They're like, I know it's a frozen pizza, but you got to go try it.
Really?
It was my wife's favorite of the four.
No kidding. The frozen one.
The frozen one.
And it goes what in the 350 oven for 20 minutes or something?
Like 450 oven for about 20 minutes, and it comes in a little oven safe square pan.
Yeah, it looks like a Stouffer's lasagna pan. Essentially,
it got crispy on the side, crispy on the top. It definitely had that. When you have any kind of frozen bread product that you have to reheat, it has that certain kind of sponginess and sweetness that is very indicative of like a DiGiorno pizza or Cole's Italian breadsticks. It was there, but the sauce was sweet. The pepperoni was crisp. For $6.99, man, it was a solid offering.
Yeah, I mean, I've spent I've spent more than that on lesser things for sure. And so I guess before we get into the reviews, a couple things. Now, you said something about sauce. Now, I was told that the difference between marinara sauce and pizza sauce, or tomato sauce for pasta and tomato sauce for pizza, is pizza sauce is uncooked. It cooks in the oven. So you make a cold pizza sauce, you put it on the pizza, then the pizza cooking the sauce.
That's what I've heard.
As opposed to a marinara sauce where you cook the sauce first and then toss it with the pasta. Have you heard the same thing?
I've heard the same thing, but to be honest, I heard that from you.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, cool. Thanks for citing your sources on that. And then the other thing, I was always told, and when I looked it up and whatever, that the structure of a Detroit style pizza should be dough, toppings, cheese, sauce on top.
Not only did you tell me that, but when I was trying to make my first one with your help, you were very kind and helped me through it. My research showed the same thing.
Yeah.
Toppings underneath.
Yeah, but what we're seeing in all these pictures that you showed is it's cheese topping sauce, right? So cheese first, then toppings, then sauce, as opposed to toppings, cheese sauce.
Yep. You had a good theory on that, though.
I've heard that everybody wants to do toppings cheese sauce, but the customers bitch because they say, like, we ordered pepperoni. I don't see any pepperoni on this pizza.
Yeah.
And that's why they do it that way.
And as two people who have spent 50 years combined working in the restaurant industry, absolutely can understand that answer.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so I get it, but like, hey, people, if you order Detroit style pizza with pepperoni and you don't see the pepperoni, it's there, man. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. They know what they're doing, all right? But so yeah, I've heard that's the thing. And you know, I had Grace pop I made one just for the show today, a Detroit style pizza. I had Grace pop it in the oven for me and have her pull out. Grace, will you bring me the pizza, honey? The pizza. Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it. So I have made and you can see my pan, the carbon steel.
Very proper.
Did you eat some? Grace, did you eat some?
Unbelievable.
I know it's good. The show's going to be over in 20 minutes. You couldn't wait? There's extra sandwich. You could. All right, so here's what's left of the Detroit style pizza. As you can see,
you got the sauce stripes. You got the stripes.
I'm a fan of the stripe sauce. It's fine, Grace. Just grab me a beer or something. Yeah, so I'm a fan of putting the stripes, the racing stripes, on the pizza. Is that what you do too?
You know, I tried, but I have some picky, 4 and 7-year-old eaters around here.
Yeah, and, kids are like angry restaurant people who wonder where the pepperoni is.
90% of my job as the stay-at-home dad at the moment, thanks COVID, is keeping the peace between the children. And if putting the sauce under the cheese keeps the peace at dinner, then who am I to argue?
Right. Yeah. No, you're right. Exactly. If you got to do what you got to do. Understood completely. So
they got really mad because they couldn't see the cheese. They love the cheese.
Right. No, I hear you.
Yep.
All right. Let's jump into your. Oh, I was going to bring up dough. Have you found anything that's specific about Detroit pizza dough?
So it's a lot lighter than you think.
Okay.
The problem with the dough, and here's the biggest problem, is when I went around and got these pizzas, I live in Howell, okay? It's not exactly Detroit. So I drove to Detroit, round trip, picked up 3 pies and a frozen pie and came home. So sadly, they sat for a while. It'd be probably different if I stopped and had a beer and a slice at each spot.
Sure.
There's a couple of things. A good Detroit-style pizza, even though it's, thick crust, right? I don't know how you make it. You gave me a recipe once, and it was super light and bubbly.
Yeah, I think it should be bubbly. Yeah,
I think that was like a 24-hour rest to get it to do that.
Right. Yeah, I like. To me, should be more bready than like lots of bubbles in the bread.
For sure.
Italian bread as opposed to baguette, as far as like the size of the grain of the inside of the dough. So yeah, I guess that'd be the best way.
Agree. So the only issue is if you wait too long. So like the first picture you showed, Michigan and Trumbull, fantastic. But the problem was their particular cheese blend was so heavy that by the time I got it home, it kind of squished the crust down. So it was super dense along the center. So the edge pieces and the crust area was freaking phenomenal. But as you got, the closer to the center of the pie, it was just super dense. So I think a lot of people look at it and they think like kind of more like a Chicago style, where they think it's going to be this thick, dense heaviness, but it really isn't. Go have a buddy slice, man. That thing is like lighter than air when you pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, people think like, oh, that's going to be a heavy. No, it's actually not. It's a square pizza. It's thicker, but it's not heavier. Like you said,
I'll tell you, and I think they get that because Jets, though I love Jets, and it's a staple around here for our takeout. It's a much heavier dough than the classics. When you go to Louis, when you go to Cloverleaf, when you go to Buddy's, it's a much lighter, airier, crispy crust.
Well, I think it's because Jets probably uses the same dough for their hand tossed.
Probably,
which should be a thicker dough because it's rolled out thinner. I mean, like it needs to be more dense dough anyway. All right, Johnny, you have some reviews. You got some stuff going on. You got some rankings. Yeah. All right, hit me.
I had thick, greasy hands and didn't want to ruin any paper, so I took them, proper notes.
Wrote it on the Buddies box. That's fantastic.
Wrote it on the Buddies box. It's great. So we'll start with that the Motor City, the frozen one, man. So that was my wife's favorite.
Okay.
And the kids liked it second best.
Okay.
The sauce was probably the sweetest.
Okay.
Yeah, probably the most sugary sauce. And that might have to do with the dough too. When you have those prefabricated frozen doughs, I think part of that is you have to put the extra sugar in it. I don't really know why. All frozen pizza stuff tastes very sweet to me.
I think it helps with the crispification of the edges, and it helps speed up the cooking.
For sure.
That's my guess on why that is.
Yeah, obviously the price was banging. I mean, $6.99 for a typical small pizza, really tasty. Especially being frozen. I mean, it blew DiGiorno or any a Tombstone, all of them. Screw all those. Just buy Motor City, and it's a Michigan product.
Yeah, and $6.99. I've spent that on a bag of jerky the size of this Zippo lighter.
Yeah,
for $6.99.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, $6.99. You kidding me? All right, yeah.
But it was quick. It was fast. It was easy. The pepperoni was a little bland, but I think it was just because it's run of the mill cheap pepperoni. It's all right. Jets. My two youngest, they like the Jets the most, but probably because it's familiar because I bring it home a lot.
Yeah, it's like a warm handshake, man. It's a hug.
But I'll tell you, I don't know what cheese blend they use, but it was my favorite cheese of all of them. It was the cheese blend in Jets was my favorite. But they're so heavily greasy and oily. They are by far the greasiest, filthiest pizza of the four.
Which is great for like some beers and some women, but not with pizza. All right.
That's good. But I do like they have kind of a particular bold flavor of pepperoni that they use, and I do enjoy that as well. Sure. Buddies was my favorite. I liked Buddies the most. Buddies was the only one that sprinkled like seasoning. It had like oregano and different seasoning sprinkled over top.
Which is what I like to do that too. I like to do a little
super good
magic. Yeah.
My kids said it was too spicy.
Mm-hmm.
It had a little bit of red pepper flake, a little, oregano, a few things on there.
I mean,
but it was so light. I mean, it was like literally picking up a feather. It didn't weigh anything. It was so crispy and bubbly. It was great. I really want to try Michigan and Trumbull fresh. And people, when I was researching, said, don't buy this to go. Don't take it home. Eat it there. It's a different animal. And I agree. And I think it was because the cheese they use is so dense and thick, which a lot of people like. But by the time an hour had passed and I got it home, it had literally squished the dough. That's
too bad because I guess a lot of people traditionally use brick cheese, which is like a Wisconsin thing, which is kind of like a mix between like white cheddar and mozzarella essentially, and it's a really high fat cheese, so it's a heavy cheese. So I guess traditionally that's the cheese one would use. All right,
but I'll tell you, their pepperoni and their sauce was hands down the best. So
at Michigan and Trumbull, that one,
Michigan and Trumbull, I loved it, and I want to go back and try this pickled green chili. And then I did take a side of their honey home. They have like a honey a really thin, light honey, just slightly drizzled over across it. And I've had that before at a pizza place. That's kind of the hot new craze apparently. But the one I had before was chili pepper oil infused into the honey or blended with. Unbelievably good. Just a little drizzle over top of your pepperoni pizza will blow your mind. Try it out.
Like a hot sweet thing kind of happening.
Exactly.
At the time. I dig it. All right, so
that's it.
If you're going to pick one. Send our Slinkstitute, our Slinkophiles out to one of those. Not counting the frozen one.
I think you got to go to Original Buddies.
I think so too. Yeah, you can't go wrong. Even if you hit one of the satellite buddies, I think there's still one in Novi. There's, whatever. I've never had a bad pizza there. So
good stuff.
Yeah, most definitely. Thanks for doing all this research, man. Jesus Christ,
just make next time. Let's do burgers and fries or something. Huh?
Oh, I know, dude. I could do 2 hours just on sliders. That's tell you the truth. All right. So the other thing we were going to bring up today, sticking with the Detroit theme, is one of the more famous Detroit movies, RoboCop. Seriously, in my top 10 favorite movies. Where does it rank for you?
It's been such a long time since I saw it. But I know you've been watching my Facebook feed. My 16-year-old and I have been going through some classics.
Sure. Yeah, you have.
And I'm telling you, man, not only is it a great action flick, not only is it funny watching a 15, 16-year-old kid look over at you at some of the dirty, sexy, and violent parts and look to see if it's okay if he laughs and reacts, because he's a pretty wholesome kid. And believe it or not, I'm a pretty wholesome dad. So we shelter him maybe a little too much, but watching him grow up and turn into the kid that he is, and then seeing if it's okay to laugh at dirty, funny things was highly entertaining. So good. I think that wherever it ranked before, it's much higher now.
Yeah, you know what? To me, it is, and I have it is, to me, it's a perfect movie. And I say this, and my criteria for this is, does it accomplish what it sets out to do? And if that's the criteria, then I think it does it. It wants to be action. It wants to be comedy. There's a huge satire like thing going on with it. Huge. There's heart to it. It clicks every box as far as I'm concerned.
And I'm telling you, they really embraced that satire in number 2.
Oh, absolutely. And the director, for those of you who don't know, is Paul Verhoeven. And this was his first American production. He had done some stuff in the Netherlands. Flesh and Blood came to America, but Robocop was his first thing. And he loves that satire, sideways thing. Other movies he's done. Another one of my top 20, Starship Troopers, is his.
Absolutely.
Total Recall. He did Basic Instinct. I'm going to cross my legs slowly. You can't say it.
Starship Troopers is still one of my top 3 favorite sci-fi movies of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it has that satire element to it, where the news things and the like anti-fascism and all that kind of stuff is happening. So RoboCop clicks all the boxes to me. You
have a Facebook comment over here. I will say that very political climate today, accurate, and it's something I was going to say. It's a very honest look at. And I think they were trying to be satirical, but I think they really kind of nailed the inside of corporate greed. And if it's taken to the next level and allowed to become, law and order, for profit,
it's one of those movies that I don't know if it gets better with age, but it doesn't diminish.
Right,
it stays relevant. I mean, it's so you have Paul Verhoeven is directing. You get Peter Weller as RoboCop, and he's a great actor, don't get me wrong, but part of the reason they cast him is because he's super thin. He's skinny. So once you put Rob Bottin, who was the special effects guy who made the armor and stuff, once you put the armor on him, if it was a normal size guy, he looked like the Incredible Hulk. But he's so slight that once you put the armor on him, he still looks like a normal guy, which I thought was
Anthony Daniels theory.
Yeah, it's the Anthony, exactly. Same reason that Anthony Daniels got to be C-3PO is because he was super skinny. And, Peter Mayhew is, 8 feet tall. That's why he was Chewbacca. Yeah. That kind of thing. It was stunt casting. And don't get me wrong, Peter Weller's a great actor. I've seen him in lots of stuff where he's really good. But, plus he has the cheekbones and the jawline that, he's acting in this amount of space. For the whole movie, so he does a great job with that. The soundtrack of this film is super good. It was composed by a guy named, I'm saying this right, Basil Polidorus, who did a couple other things. He did the theme for like Conan the Barbarian, and he has this very masculine style. And that theme song, that like you get amped into that, which I think is great. Totally quotable. Bitches leave, dead or alive, you're coming with me. All that stuff. I'd buy
that for $1.
Yeah, I'd buy that for $1. Yeah, exactly. When it came out in '87, me and my friends probably, saw it on HBO or on videotape, because we weren't allowed to go to the movies, because we were too young in '87 to see an R-rated movie. But yeah, I'd buy that for $1 was part of our vernacular.
Dude, my 4 and 7-year-old are walking around the house saying that now because me and my 16-year-old have been quoting it for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah, it's totally quotable.
I like I'm sorry, I can't see the names. It just says Facebook user in our chat.
I know
So
it bothers me too.
What they have to do is they have to open up this on Restream first and give their data rights to Restream, so it'll put their name on there. It's a long technical thing. I'll go over with you another time.
Yeah, we'll talk about it then. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Someone said Doug Jones is like that, too, as far as being stunt casting. He's the really thin guy who was most recently in The Shape of Water. He was the merman guy. It's me, Sarah Wagner. Yeah, hey, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Yeah, can you fly, Bobby? That's another line from it's another great thing. And I'm actually wearing my Robocop shirt today. I'm going to see if I can get it in camera. If I can not step on my headphones. All right.
Yeah.
Remember when Robocop shot that dude in the dick?
Yeah.
Another great scene.
Another awesome scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, off topic a little bit, but I don't know if you saw the meme getting passed around after spoiler alert
for Robocop.
Just mute this for Mandalorian real quick. Mute it. Mute it if you don't want to hear Mandalorian. It's not really a thing. So everybody knows at some point Boba Fett comes back into the game, right?
Sure.
And somebody had made mention of, if you look at his armor, it's got all the dinks and dings and things on it, right, from his time. There's a very clear bullet divot right in his crotch.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see this.
So yeah, I saw a meme come up when I was talking about Robocop. Somebody sent me a meme of Boba Fett and the guy from Robocop, both with a hole in their dick.
Yeah. No, that's great. No, that's that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. No. So yeah, for those of you who haven't seen Robocop or haven't seen it in a while,
go.
I think yeah, both of us recommend checking it out.
Turn us off right now. Just go. It's on Amazon Prime for free. Just go.
Sure. Or if you're hot and single, come on over. I have it on Blu-ray.
Private screening.
Yeah, private screening. And then Robocop 2 was pretty good too.
Oh my gosh. So I have one complaint. Well, not necessarily complaint, but I did notice something, and I think that they skimped on bringing in like a veteran or a firearms expert to talk about how to do action shots with these guys. Because I noticed watching Robocop 2 last night that even Kane's massive mech warrior at one point, there's a common theme. I'm going to back up a little bit so you can see. There's a common theme when Robocop's got his gun out shooting, and even the mech warrior in 2 did it.
Oh, that hand back.
What is up with that? What is up with that? Nobody shoots like that.
Yeah, I wonder if that was like an artistic choice or
or maybe it just the way his costume fit, that if he did this, it made his other arm kind of funny go up, and so he just did this.
Yeah,
and then there's an inordinate amount of time with Robocop with his pinky out. He's very, very fancy.
Really?
Yeah. Watch Robocop 2, and I think that they exaggerated it, but every time he's walking, he walks like this with his fingers spread apart like this for no apparent reason.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Robocop 2 was written by Frank Miller.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, the comic book artist. Yeah, who did the Dark Knight Returns. He also wrote Sin City, and he's a crazy person. And I guess they had to like tone the film down because his script was too nuts.
Yeah, way out of control.
Yeah, and if you've seen Robocop 2, it's already nuts. Like it's like the city is run by like a drug dealer 11-year-old, and it's just it's over the it's over the top. It's over the top.
Yeah, the Little League baseball team rioting and ransacking stores.
Yeah, no, it's and to think that they had to like it was at an 11 and they took it back to a 6, and that's still what we got, which is just crazy.
Insanity.
Yeah. All right, listen. Yeah, we're at about a half hour. Let's start wrapping it up here. Let's do our Eat, Drink, and Be Merry portion of the show, because this podcast video stream inspired by the Eat, Drink, and Be Merry Facebook page. If you guys aren't a member, join it. We talk about music, movies, food, and drink, and nothing else.
Nothing else.
Nope, that's all it's an escape. It's an escape page. It's it's like a spa. It's a hot tub of Facebook.
I love it
for sure.
Well, I think you already know.
So what do you, besides Detroit style pizza?
Right.
What are you eating lately, or what looks good, or what do you want to get there?
I should have sent you a picture for you could share, but you can go find me, Jonathan Danger Cole, on Facebook, and take a you're going to have to scroll through a lot of political crap. I'm sorry, disclosure. If you go to my page, you're going to see some things.
Yeah, there's going to be some stuff, folks. There's going to be some stuff.
Pretty raging liberal, and I apologize in advance. But anyways, I think that you will see I got a new toy for Christmas.
Yes, I saw this, and I am so goddamn jealous, you son of a bitch.
I've got a like 27 by 31 inch full-blown like quarter-inch thick carbon steel whole stove griddle.
It fits over the top of all the burners and everything, and it becomes like a diner flat top.
And it's amazing. And I have been basically using it almost every day. I've gained 10 pounds since Christmas. And
that's the only thing keeping me from getting one, because it wasn't in the grand scheme of things. When I looked it up, when you sent me the link, I think it's only like $180 or something like that.
It's like 130 if you just want the thing. It's
whatever.
180 if you wanted all the spatulas and stuff.
Sure, or whatever it was. So I'm like, that's not.
I love it.
Crazy, and
dude, I'm telling you, I cook breakfast on it every weekend. And
I saw like eggs and bacon and everything is all in the same thing.
I cooked like 12 pancakes at once. It's amazing. I had eggs on one side. I'll tell you though, man. So I've been using it every day, and even fresh out of the box, I take like 6 eggs, whip it up in a bowl, pour it on it hot. It doesn't even stick, man. It rolls right off it. You just push it around. It's the weirdest thing.
Did you have to season it at all, or was it fine?
Yeah, I did. Just like you would a cast iron pan. You got to break it out. You got to rub it down with oil. You got to heat it up. You got to cool it down. Rub it down with oil. Heat it up. Cool it down. It's incredible. I love it. I've done Philly cheesesteaks. I've done hibachi. We did flat iron the other day. You name it. And then I don't know if you remember, last Christmas, I got a special wok cradle for my turbo burner and a hammered wok. So I use that a lot too. So it's not necessarily what I've been eating; it's what I've been cooking on.
Sure. So Grace, again, let's make a note of that griddle thing. All right, write it down. It's on the face. Just write it down, just so I remember. Yes, you can have the rest of the pizza. That part's over. We'll talk. Sorry about that, Grace.
Good heart. Good help, man.
So what are you drinking lately?
So I'll be brutally honest, man. Since I have been on temporary furlough, I kind of quit drinking. So I haven't been drinking a lot.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, I have a beer with you right now, and I do have a beer on my podcast. But I've been exploring non-alcoholic beers, dude, and I will tell you, there's a lot of good product out there, and people that are sloughing it off are wrong.
No kidding.
There's some really good stuff out there, especially if you go see my boy Ashley Price at Holiday Market in Royal Oak. He's got the world's greatest selection. There is a whole bunch of things that are coming out and are tasty, and they have everything from like fruited sours to IPAs to coffee stouts, all non-alcoholic.
That's crazy because normally somebody would say that to me, but I trust you and your beer knowledge because that's your beer. That's what you do. That's your job. So coming from Johnny Danger Cole, if he says this non-alcoholic beer is good,
that's right.
That's who you want to. That's who you want to trust on this one.
I want you to go find Well-Being Brewing Company.
Well-Being
Brewing Company.
Write that down, Grace.
Yep. They have a amber ale and an IPA that you wouldn't be able to tell they were non-alcoholic if I didn't tell you. And I want you to go to Brewdog, which I just went down to their brewery hotel for my birthday with my wife, and was amazing. They have an entire series called AF, so Stout AF, IPA AF. Okay. Alcohol free. Their stout.
Is that what it stands for?
Yeah, their stout is has like a cup of coffee worth of caffeine in it because it's blended with cold pressed coffee. Okay. It's amazing. There's a lot of good ones out there, so go check them out. Yeah, Untitled Art actually makes a sour like Berliner Weiss fruited non-alcoholics, which are amazing. That's
crazy because I mean, when you think of non-alcoholic beer, you think of like Duels or Caliber or whatever.
For sure. Man, skip all that. There's craft ones out there. Self-plug for the brewery. The brewery owner just texted me yesterday and said they were going to experiment with a non-alcoholic beer, so that's awesome. My good buddy Eric Elliott, who owns Reputation Beverage Company, mainly kombucha and tea and coffee company out of DeWitt, Michigan, north of Lansing. is coming out with non-alcoholic series. So there's some Michigan-grown product coming too.
That's awesome. Hey, you heard it here, folks. That's the place to be. Music-wise, what are you listening to?
I know you're going to be disappointed in me, man. I like music, but I am not an audiophile. So basically, my entire Pandora, Spotify collection of music has never really left Stone Temple Pilots and Chris Cornell radio in the last 20 years.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Trust me, like when I hit my thing, it always just goes to Prince, Tom Waits, and Steely Dan over and over again, unless I change it. So
yeah, this last month I've been addicted to Chris Cornell Unplugged.
Yeah, no, his version of Billie Jean gives me chills for sure. Yeah. So, all right,
sad day when that man passed away in Detroit. Sad day.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was his last show. And then besides Robocop and Robocop 2, what are you watching?
So my kid and I are trudging through a chronological order of every Star Wars property, including cartoons and Lego and all that. So,
so Clone Wars, Rebels,
Ewok
Adventure, Holiday Special,
the whole work. So right now we're on season 4 of Rebels, so that's been going well. And then of course I'm taking him down memory lane. So we watched Airplane, The Jerk.
Awesome.
Robocop. I'll take your suggestion for the next one. What do you think we should go? I've been thinking Blazing Saddles.
So do you want to stay comedy or do you want to go action or?
No, these, along those classic like 80s, 70s themes. Classic movies I know that if 16-year-olds never even thought of or heard of.
I'm assuming, just because I know you, we've already done all the Indiana Jones movies.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Let's see. How about the Rocky movies?
We have not watched. He watched Rocky with his stepfather.
So let's do. I want to say, do this arc for me.
Okay.
Do Rocky 1.
Okay.
Rocky 2, and then Rocky 6, which is called Rocky Balboa.
Right.
Skip 3, 4, and 5 for now.
Okay.
Because that is the perfect character arc for that character. In 3, 4, and 5 is essentially a different character. Yeah, do the Rocky. Oh, somebody said Young Frankenstein. That's a great idea.
Yeah, he really likes Mel Brooks because we have watched the History of Time and we have watched Spaceballs, of course.
Spaceballs,
so yeah, right? I mean, Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles are high on my list.
Yeah, those are definitely. I'd put those in there for sure. Princess Bride, a classic.
Oh, man. He was like falling off the couch laughing at the jerk during the scene where he says he's mad at the cans. He's shooting the cans.
Stay away from the cans. Yep, the Optigrab, is that what it was called?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Haven't
so good. The chat room seems to have Young Frankenstein as their consensus.
The Young Frankenstein, and then I will go ahead and say if you guys haven't seen Jaws in a long time, it's worth a rewatch. I just watched the other day, and again, another movie that holds up. Fantastic performances, early Spielberg. So,
Jaws. Hey, one last thing.
Sure.
What I'm excited about, I meant to mention when we were going through Star Wars. So when Rebels ends, you go to Rogue One, which I think is outstanding movie, and then
totally underrated.
Yeah, and then you get to go to 4, 5, 6, of course. So I just got in the mail as part of my birthday present to myself. I found somebody who had translated the unaltered, unspecialed editions of the original Star Wars theatrical release onto Blu-ray and upgraded the HD output on it.
So you got to send me a link after this is over so I can find out how to get this.
Right?
Holy moly, Johnny!
Yeah, because I have them on VHS, but they're kind of janky.
It's VHS, Yeah. Oh my God.
But I found somebody to put them on Blu-ray, which is good because I can actually use it on just my entertainment system, and I don't have to go in the basement and find the VCR. And
absolutely. Oh God, yeah. We'll talk about this. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about this. Because I'm going to need that for sure. All right, Johnny Danger Cole. Thanks for coming today. I appreciate it. A little bit long, but hey, we had a good time. Like I was. Before we started, folks, I was like, in case we run out of stuff to talk about, I got a couple of backup plans. And Johnny was like, we're not going to run out of anything to talk about, man. And you were 100% right. And all right, man, thanks. I appreciate it. Where can folks find you? Where's hit some links for me. Do some plugs.
All right, buddy. Check out, please, on Facebook, and the webpage will be dropping shortly, ilogicmedia.com, please, or ilogicmedianetwork.com, not ilogicmedia, no, network, ilogicmedia.com. And then find me on Facebook for our sports stuff, Draft for Upside, DRAUGHT, like draft beer, Draft for Upside for all your fantasy sports needs.
Awesome. Thank you again, brother. Thanks for everybody for showing up today. I appreciate it. Those in the chat, sorry if we didn't get your questions, but we'll talk to you soon. Next week, I have punk rock chef Brandon Kunick's going to be joining me, talking about the restaurant biz and some of his special punk rock recipes. We're going to go that way next Sunday at 3. Johnny Cole, everybody, Grace, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks.